right, ladies and gentlemen. In the past, about just over a week ago, about 8 days ago, I made a video about Zenless Zone Zero. And the topic of that video was about some of the problems that I thought was occurring when it came to ZZZs and its balancing, and specifically on the issue of HP inflation. The idea, right, that every single update, these developers are going in and they're making mobs in the endgame. We're going to see a little bit of Shiyu defense over here. That's the main topic of the discussion. We're seeing mobs in the endgame get their HP increased more and more over time. And the idea over here is that, well, it's a bit of an issue. It's something that the game has been experiencing every single update, and it's made the game harder for a lot of the casual players. People are going in, they're using the same teams, they're taking like 30, 40, 50 seconds longer to clear. And the thing is, a lot of individuals, especially in the ZZZ player base, were not very happy with this video. They weren't very happy with it at all. Let me just show you an example of what actually happened 8 days ago when this video launched. This video was actually linked in the official, not really the official, but one of the unofficial ZZZ subreddits. And the idea was that, oh, this dude Saint is an absolute tourist. He has no idea how to play ZZZ, but he's going in and trying to say that there's HP inflation. He's terrible at the game. Here's the truth of the matter. I intentionally play ZZZ as a tourist because ZZZ is a game that's a casual gacha. The idea behind a gacha's endgame is that it should be accessible. It should be clearable by everybody that is a tourist, as long as you're maybe going ahead, pulling some of the newest characters, doing a little bit of that. The tourist is the average gacha player. I could get sweaty at ZZZ if I absolutely 100% wanted to, but I play the game casually for a reason. I log on every couple of months, every few weeks, and give a stab to some of the endgame modes, catch up on the story, and that's how I enjoy it. Because guess what? I don't view it as a game that you can play for a very, very long, extended amount of time. It just really isn't that game for me. It doesn't have the open world. It doesn't have those characteristics. And guess what? Boy, oh boy. This got about 1.1 thousand upvotes, 437 comments. And what you're going to see here is the big ticket item, a lot of brigading from that subreddit. That is correct. This video has about 450 likes. And on the flip side, about 683 downvotes, 683 dislikes. Yeah, they were not very happy with this one. And boy, oh boy, do I have some great comments to share with you guys. My first one over here, I can't wait till ZZZ 1.7 to revisit this. Y'all will be legendary. The good news is the HP inflation has already gotten worse, so I don't even need to wait until 1.7 to make this video. That's why I'm making it right now while 1.6 is still live. If you think you suck at the game, watch this video. He'll make you think you're the faker of ZZZ. Gameplay like this is what we're saying is the worst we've ever seen. We're saying gameplay like this is 1,000,000% the worst that these players have seen. What is like so unforgivably bad about this? Let me show you the most important part. Oh. So we're just going in, and we're saying this is the worst gameplay we've ever seen. Simply watching this guy will make you feel like Faker, and then I'm going in and I'm clearing with an S. So yeah, you can kind of see the ZZZ community is a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're starting to say a lot of things that don't really make a lot of sense, whatever fits their narrative. Somebody is talking negatively about their game, pointing out a potential issue, and they're going ahead and they're freaking the fuck out. Win the fight. Easy game. Lost the fight. Why is this enemy so tanky? Man, bait used to be believable. Oh, it's just a skill issue. Even Miyabi won't fix this one skill issue. Ain't no way you got a low rank with Miyabi. I got an S. You literally can't go higher than S. Now, what the fuck is this? You're getting trashed in every community you go into. Blah, blah, blah. No. This guy's not even speaking English, so we're gonna skip that one. I thought I was bad. Thanks for proving otherwise. So is this like a humiliation fetish or what? Oh, me posting an S rank clear? What the actual hell? Are you so hard up for content you have to bring this toxic chaos to ZZZ as well? People are going ahead and they're spreading this idea that I'm just going ahead and being excessively negative about the game, that I'm making stuff up, that I'm just trying to cause drama. That doesn't exist because, well, all you have to do in ZZZ is just get really, really, really good at the game, right? Like, oh, yeah, all this talk about HP inflation It means nothing. You just have to get good at the game. And so what I decided to do was, well, bring some evidence, get some glue, do a little bit of research, and, well, take a look at how the Shiyu defense HP numbers have transformed over time. I will look at how they have transformed over time. And we're going to start from one iconic moment in ZZZ's history. The release of Hoshimi Miyabi, the most broken fucking unit in the game that deals or dealt more than twice, potentially even 3 to 4 times the damage of the other damage-oriented units that released before her. And she was released on December 18th. She was released on December 18th in version 1.4 about 3 months ago. And so what I did was I decided to compile some HP numbers from 1.4 all the way to the present day, looking at version 1.4 Shiyu defense numbers, 1.5s, 1.6s, and of course, I am hiding it, 1.6's second half. And boy, oh boy, do I have some amazing thoughts to share with you guys based off of this, but you're probably able to draw your own conclusions currently. In the blue bar, what we're seeing up here, we're going to see the total HP of both sides of the Shiyu defense floor 7, the final level. And in the red percentage mark and this line chart over here, we're going to see how much it's increased percentage-wise from version 1.4. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we're seeing over here 1.6's second half, what we're currently on, is a basically 41% increase from version 1.4, which was 3 months ago. It was 3 months and 13 days ago. And the HP within 3 months and 13 days has gone up almost 41%. That is more than 10% every month. That is more than 10% every month since Miyabi was released. Since Hoshimi Miyabi was released. You want to know something else I want to show you? This is what the HP numbers looked like before Miyabi was released. Do we see a bit of a trend here? We kinda can't. It looks like the HP numbers were relatively static. It looks like the HP numbers were literally pretty static up until Miyabi gets released. Then they release a character that deals 2 to 3 times the damage as everybody else. And then they start inflating the HP because Miyabi, a lot of people pulled her, does too much fucking damage. And so that made the endgame modes like Shiyu way too fucking easy. And so players are complaining that it's effortless, takes no time at all, they're getting it done too fast, they want more content. And guess what? In 1.5, they increased the HP by 24.22%. And then people are saying, oh, Miyabi is still making this too easy. I'm using her against ice-resistant enemies and still clearing. And then boom, we go from 24.2 to 35.53 in 1.6's first half. Too easy! Too easy! I'm still going through ice resistance. And now we're at 40. Now we're on 41% HP over 1.4. You want to know what this is like a 1-to-1 to? In another Hoyoverse game? I'll show you. It's the same photo. You want to know what this character did to Honkai Star Rail? I'll show you what she did to Honkai Star Rail. Acheron was released in March 27th, 2024. You want to know what patch that was? That was patch 2.1 for Honkai Star Rail. And guess what one of the most popular Reddit posts is on the Honkai Star Rail subreddit? HP inflation from MOC 2.1. Isn't it ironic that it seems like they released a unit who completely absurdly destroyed the damage ceiling in the game, and then they proceed to, from that moment on, they begin HP inflation, uncontrolled HP inflation, that makes it so that unless you have Acheron, you're not able to clear, because if you had Acheron and you're going against these easy 2.1 enemies, well, it's just too simple. It's too easy. You're zero cycling without any effort at all. And guess what? Look at these numbers. We have like a 2.3 million over here, a 1.25 million over here. That's the current MOC, right? That was the current MOC 2 months ago. You want to know what it was like before? Yanqing, a single boss, had 800k HP. A single boss in 2.1 had 800k HP. And now a boss plus an elite have a combined HP of 3.55 million. 3.55 2.55 million compared to 8 million. And you want to know why they're using the 2.1 MOC as an example? Because that was when Acheron released. They saw the impact she had on the meta. They saw how absurdly she raised all the damage ceilings in the game. And then they started gradually increasing the HP in the MOC until it was in its current state. That's completely fucked up and super unbalanced and makes it impossible for older units on the roster to clear. And you want to know where you're at right now, ZZZ players? Patch 1.4 was your HSR 2.1. Patch 1.4 for ZZZ was basically HSR 2.1's MOC. The same exact thing. And the thing is, you're seeing unprecedented levels of HP inflation in ZZZ. You're seeing a 40% in less than 2 patches. It is only going to go up from here because you had the release of Hoshimi Miyabi, who was basically the same exact situation as Acheron. And when you raise the damage ceiling this high in a game like this, players are going to start complaining that there's really nothing for them to do with these units. There's no difficulty in the endgame modes. And so the only solution the devs have is to inflate the HP more and more and more. And you want to know what the current state of Honkai Star Rail is like right now? You literally cannot play anything except the newer units. Acheron is barely hanging on for her dear fucking life because this is the dynamic that Hoyoverse has and is putting into your games. They're going ahead. They release new characters. The next one has to do more damage than the last one because otherwise people aren't going to pull it. And then they just keep inflating the HP over and over and over and over again until it becomes impossible for older units in the 4 stars to do anything at all. Because in this MOC from 3 months ago, you might as well, if you wanted to use a character that wasn't one of the new additions to the roster, you might as well just go fuck yourself. And believe me, the same exact thing, you have the data, the empirical data in front of you. The same exact thing is happening to ZZZ. Maybe, right? You'll just go ahead and just convince yourself, man, this guy, he's talking about HP inflation. It can't be real because he's not playing the game perfectly. You know what? These numbers aren't real because the guy talking about the numbers has a skill issue. Because he's not an expert at playing the game, these numbers aren't real. That is the argument that ZZZ's community is taking on right now. That is the level of toxic positivity that has invaded this game. I actually have a running theory when it comes to ZZZ, and it's that the existence of TVs actually filtered out every single player with an IQ above 60, maybe 70. Potentially 80. And the only people left playing this game are actually just stupid because you are literally seeing the same exact thing that happened with Acheron and Honkai Star Rail happening to you with Miyabi. And you're just over here turning the blinders on, pretending it's not happening, and just saying, it's a skill issue. HP inflation's not real. Just play better, bro. Yeah, let's just deny the fact and not account for the fact that you have a 41% HP increase in 2 updates. A 41% HP increase in 2 updates. Are you all this dumb? It's in 2 patches. That is actually genuinely kind of unbelievable. And when you have somebody calling out the problem, instead of looking at the literal data of HP numbers going up, by the way, this video, it's on 1.6's first half. This is when you had a 35% HP increase over 1.4. Instead of calling out the fact that HP has increased 35% since Miyabi's release, everyone's just focusing on the fact that the gameplay in the video isn't perfect. We're this stupid now. This is what we're upvoting to the thousands. This sort of mindset. At this point, you are dumb pigs just lining up in front of the slaughterhouse. You see what is happening to Honkai Star Rail, how it's basically become the worst game under Hoyo versus Umbrella because of the rampant power creep that they failed to control because of the release of this character who raised the damage ceilings and fucked up the game. You have Miyabi, who's doing the same exact thing, and they're raising all the damage ceilings and fucking up the game. And when you see a CC, or really just a tourist who's playing the game but is actually able to read numbers, and they're calling it out and telling you that the same exact thing is about to happen. Skill issue. Don't listen to him. He's not good at the game. So the numbers he's talking about aren't real. At this point, we should just let the game die. We should just leave you all to your own goddamn devices because you seem to just not care about what is going on. You seem to be just focused on, I don't know, like maybe the idea of like object permanence is not like a big thing in this community. Maybe there's actually like goldfish memory because you literally have seen it happen live in HSR and you're seeing it happen in front of you right now with a 41% HP increase in 2 patches, and you're just pretending it's not there. You're pretending it's not there. You're using the argument, oh, I saw a CC clear it with 4-star units. I saw a CC clear it with standard units and a 4-star unit, so the HP inflation can't be that bad. If that's what you're saying, I think you're actually too stupid to be saved. And you're really, again, going into that argument that I do believe TVs filtered all the smart people out of this community, because you have to be brain rotted to shit to have been able to actually play the game when TVs were in it. And the only people left in this community after getting filtered by TVs are those that genuinely have no ability to critically think anymore. This is a game by Hoyoverse, and you've seen what Hoyoverse does when it comes to power creep and selling characters, and they're doing the same exact thing again, but you're saying it doesn't exist when all the evidence and the proof and the numbers are there. And ladies and gentlemen, if you were wondering what WuWa's HP inflation is looking like way back from version 1.0, we're seeing it over here. Well, we got version 2.2 at 8.45% higher HP from the launch of the game. As a bit of a reminder, ZZZ is, in fact, 41% higher in 1.6 than it was in 1.4. 41% higher in 1.6 versus 1.4 in ZZZ. And in WuWa, 2.2 versus 1.0, 8.45%. Boy, oh boy, y'all are a little bit cooked. At this point, I do think the ZZZ community is potentially just beyond saving. I'm just not really sure what's going on with them anymore. Nothing just seems to make sense because we're going in, we're hyperinflating and hyper-focusing on issues that aren't relevant and then using them to disregard the facts about the situation. And the facts and the reality when it comes to ZZZ is that you guys are fucking cooked unless you make a big deal out of it and tell these devs to control how they're balancing this fucking game. Because if it continues on the trajectory that it's at, it's been 2 patches and you're up 41%. What do you think is going to happen by the end of the year? So with that, let me know what you all think. Peace.